And now our latest photography talk, Inspiring Images, brought to you in association with the Architectural Photography Awards, and it's Laurian Ghiniţoiu.
My name is Laurian Ghiniţoiu, and I'm using photography as a tool to document the built environment. I'm going to talk today about inspiring places that I've been visiting and photographed in the past few years around the world. The first one that I'm going to talk about is in Lisbon. It's the bridge, 25th of April, which was built in the 60s. And although I've been passing many times around it and crossing it, I didn't realize actually what is the impact over the city and how overwhelming the structure could be. So I've been interested to discover it. And what I realized in time was the fact that the locals didn't consider it overwhelming, and they were questioning actually me why I'm photographing it. And it became something very, they adapted so much that it became something very invisible for them. I photographed it during the lockdown in Lisbon, which means that there were no people on the street, and I found it interesting to work with this relation of the invisibility of a threat as a virus, and also this infrastructure that it's overwhelming towards the city. Another place that I've been visited, it's Namiye in Japan, and it's a city that was evacuated in 2011 due to the explosion of the nuclear reactor in 2011, and what was interesting is that after 9 years, it was opened back to the public, but it was very hard to see people on the street, and you could question actually if the city was alive or not. And by waiting till the evening, you could actually start seeing light inside some houses, which was something beautiful and providing quite a lot of hope. Another project that I would like to show, it's another place. It's Beirut port, and after the explosion in August, when more than 800 homes were destroyed, and including this tower designed by Bernard Curie, which is pointing the cannons towards the enemy, but at the same time couldn't actually stop the corruption and in order to stop the explosion. What is interesting is that the city is mourning, of course, but at the same time, the fact that people got together in order to rebuild the city. And you can see that in every single aspect and every single scale, and people find hope in it. Another place which I found interesting is the Calais. It's one of the biggest. It was one of the biggest refugee camps in Europe, right next to the border with UK. Where more than 10,000 people, because the refugees, they couldn't cross towards UK because the border were closed. They built a settlement, and with everything they needed, like from churches to schools, restaurants, and even a nightclub. You can see it in the left side. Crossing the ocean, it's a new kind of settlement, which is the result of which happens in Nevada. It's a settlement of more than 70,000 people. It's a festival called Burning Man, where people come in the middle of the desert for 10 days to celebrate art and music and sustainability. It's a city that it was built for mostly for pedestrian and people riding bikes, and it's supposed to disappear after a few days after the festival is ending. leaving no tracks to the desert. Another place that I've been visited, it's Dharavi. It's in India, Mumbai. It's one of the biggest slum in Asia, and has a density of 1 million people in 2 square kilometers, which is quite a lot. And although it's a slum, it has an informal economy of $1 billion every year, which is quite a lot, made out of recycling and also leather manufacturing. In this place, it's called Shipai, which is one of the biggest urban villages in China. It's in Guangzhou, next to the downtown, and it has more than 170 alleys that are so narrow that the light doesn't go to the street level. But even that, at every single corner, you can see a lot of things happening. Like in this corner, these kids throwing with stones into a CCTV camera, or people having plunge in the middle of the street, or even these intimate corners that become more public than private. Another place that I visited, it's in Turkey. You can see a French chalet, a fake French chalet that it was supposed to be the dream house of families from rich Middle Eastern families. That at the end it became more as a nightmare, because there were 700 copies of this French chalet, and of course it got bankrupt. A similar copy paste situation. It's happening in Chile, where the Pritzker architect Aravena, together with Elemental, they design houses as a result of after the tsunami that happened on the coast of Chile in Constitucion. And they designed these half houses, half townhouses, giving the possibility to the owners to develop the house the way they wanted. So in few years, you see that each of them had his own personality, and the fact that they are showing it in. Some even went further, and they took over the street, and some transformed it into shops and more public spaces. Another place that I'm showing, it's Palestrina, which is the island that protects the Venice Lagoon from the sea. And in order to that, a wall was built, and in time, you can see that how people adapted to it, and they started to use it as it was always there. And the last place that I would like to show, it's a cemetery in Manila. It's called the North Cemetery. That it was taken over by people and transformed into different public spaces. This is a school. This is a place where they play some sort of bingo, and of course all the mausoleum were transformed into housing. It's a third generation family that lives in the same mausoleum. Some of the houses even have a second floor, and what I think it's beautiful about all these places is in the context of the pandemic, is the fact that no matter what, people had the chance to people found ways to deal with all kind of crises and all kind of situations that occur during the years. Thank you.